everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is a haul of the fabric that I got while fabric shopping at Austin Creative Reuse. ACR sells used art supplies and fabric. Lots of fabric. I feel like I'm one of the only person or people that go there for apparel fabric. It's a lot of like people who go there for quilting fabric, and because of that there is a lot of fabric for me. If you see this blue tape on any of my fabric, it is from ACR. That's where I got it. That's how they mark it. So I'm just gonna go through with you basically what I got and how much it was. This is everything that I got, and I'm just gonna start going through one by one. So this is the first fabric. It is 4 yards for $8, so basically $2 a yard. It is pretty thick. I think it's like definitely bottom weight fabric. It's not as thick as upholstery fabric would be, but it's still pretty thick. So yeah, I love this. I was going specifically for bottom weight fabric, skirts and pants. So this is perfect. And most of the stuff that I picked up today, it has kind of a common theme. I feel like a fall theme to it. My bad. Okay, so next, this was 2 1/4 of a yard for $4.50. I love this. It's so unique, but yeah, I have a sweater that kind of looks super similar to this, but the sweater has more Thanksgiving colors. This is more summery. This one feels like it could have been upholstery fabric, but that's okay because this type of stuff, it's so rare. And I feel like this or these patterns and colors so rare and so cheap that if I need to, I will put a lining in the fabric. So yeah. Next, this one is 1.5 yards for $2.50. This one kind of reminds me of carpet or a couch, and I love it. It definitely could be used for a jacket, or like I feel like a lot of bottom weight fabric you can also use for a jacket, because sometimes jackets hold their shapes. So yeah, this could definitely be used for a jacket, but also bottom weight. It's not, I feel like most of this is upholstery fabric and I'm just gonna recycle into pants. But yeah, so here's this one. Okay, next, this one was $1 for 1 yard. Normally I won't buy a yard of fabric just because sometimes I'm like, what can I actually make out of this that is apparel wise? What can I actually make out of this? But this one I made an exception for, just because I really like it. It's like a really simple red, but it's also kind of like heathered with like black in it. And a lot of the times I notice, I guess it depends on who's working that day, the measurements aren't entirely correct. Like sometimes it's over a yard. I find that to be more often than not, it's actually over a yard. So yeah, I just went for it. I was like, you know what? It's only $1. Okay. Next, we got this one. This one was 2 yards for $4. And I didn't know what this print was. I thought it could be like flowers, but I still am not entirely sure what this is. Let's see. It says it's by IKEA. IKEA of Sweden. So it's still really interesting. Yeah, originally the way it was kind of like folded, I thought it could be tulip flowers, but I'm now realizing it's not. But I didn't really care because I like the white without it being see-through. That's my like biggest problem with buying white fabric, is that normally it's see-through, but this is really like substantial white fabric. It almost feels like canvasy, if that makes sense. And I like this color purple. I kind of like the shapes. So it will be interesting to see what I do with this. I feel like with the bigger patterns, sometimes it can be harder to put it together because you really want to pay attention to where the pattern's hitting you, I guess. I don't know. But yes, this one, $2 or 2 yards for $4. Okay, next is this one. This is probably the lightest weight I got, and at the time I had a lot of fabrics in my possession of these colors, and it kind of all looked together as a collection. Like, I think this one was with it and some other ones that I've, already shown you. So I really liked this one, and this was 2 yards for $2, and I could not pass up that deal because, like, to give you a reference, if you don't, how much fabric costs. Usually, like, good quality fabric will be anywhere between like $10 and $15 a yard, and that's kind of like cheaper, on the cheaper side. You can buy cheap fabric at Hobby Lobby, but it's not gonna last. I think the fabric at Hobby Lobby can be around like $6 a yard, but it's usually that really scratchy fabric, really easy to rip and fray. So you always have to be careful with buying too cheap of fabric. And then, like, there is fabric definitely that's way more than $15. Like, the more you go up in price, the nicer it is, the nicer quality. But between $10 and $15 a yard is about what I spend on fabric typically. I have a hard time spending $15 a yard on fabric, so I usually, buy it with a coupon and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't want to get off on a tangent. So this fabric, basically $1 a yard. Yeah, I just love it. I feel like even this could be like a really flowy skirt. The next fabric also kind of gives me carpet vibes. It is 1.5 yards for $1.50. So yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool texture, and just like a kind of a simple muted color, like the brown collection I'm doing right now, how like the fabric is super simple. That's kind of what I wanted, because I don't want to have too many crazy patterns. So yeah, and this definitely, it feels like more than 1.5 yards. We'll see when I actually go to cut something out. Okay, the next fabric, it was 2 1/4 yard for $4.50, and this was 100% upholstery fabric, 100%. So yeah, it has this really interesting pattern to it, and I love the colors that they use. I feel like because of like how thick this is, it will take a certain project, but when I find it, I'll be able to make it, because 2 1/4 yard, you can pretty much do anything with that, especially if you're short like me. You can make pants, maxi dress probably not, but yeah, this will probably be pants or a skirt, and it will be super shaped because of the fabric. And this will also probably be a fabric that I will have to put a liner in, just because of how like crunchy it is on the inside. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically how crunchy it is on the inside. The next fabric is probably my favorite that I got. It was 1 1/4 yard for $1.25. It's kind of a little amount of fabric. I'm thinking I could fit, a super simple skirt with like a front piece, a back piece, and a waistband out of it. But I mean, look at that print. It's like a ribbed fabric, so that adds like the texture element, and then also has a super cool, they almost look like H's, but it's kind of like a window, those like windows, and then it's like inside a diamond and inside a square, if that makes sense. But yeah, this is like my favorite, and it's in this really cool green color that I love. So it'll probably be really, really hard to cut this fabric. I'll probably hold on to it for a long time until I found the right project that I've already made, and I already know it fits, and make this. So the next fabric I got was 1.5 yards for $1.50. I just wanted something like pretty plain and simple, because I am gonna have to use all these fabrics, and I don't want to have to do like a huge collection of prints and patterns. So this will be a nice one, but also it's really interesting to look at because it is I don't even know. I guess it's the type of weave. I think it's a basket weave with like different color warp and weft fibers or yarns. But yeah, just something simple that I could throw with in a collection to where not everything is like screaming pattern print in your face, but still interesting to look at. Okay, the next fabric is this one. I think this was the first fabric I found. It was $4 for 2 yards. And it's just this really interesting, it kind of gives me Christmas vibes. Yeah, I don't know, I really like the colors and I was really attracted to this. I really like this one. I really like all the colors that they chose and how kind of like dark it is. And it's not like this bright in your face pattern, which is kind of the mood I feel like I'm in whenever I was shopping. So yeah, okay, so there are 3 more fabrics. One of them is right here. I take that back. This is the first fabric I found, because usually whenever the fabric is on these like giant spools like this, it's usually like the best deals that you're gonna find. They had a section of these fabrics on spools, and so I went to there first to look, and I found this one. I think that they wrapped it inside out because the outside is a lot more scratchier than the inside, but it's just like a really simple orange. Yeah, it was 2.5 yards for $5, so it's a really good deal. So yeah, I really like this one. Just super simple, but also kind of goes with all the other fabrics I have and a lot of the fabrics that I have at my house. Okay, so the next 2 fabrics are both this like velvety texture. They obviously came from the same person, and they smelled kind of dusty. So I did some research and apparently you can use baking soda in your washer. It could be a known fact, I didn't know this, but you can use baking soda in your washer with some detergent, not a lot, and try to wash the smell out. It was like this kind of like dusty old smell, and this was the first fabric I took the label off to fold, and so I was like, oh my gosh, do all of them smell like this? But there's only one more that smells like that. So let me go get those fabrics, because I washed them and then I put them outside to dry, to air dry, and then I left them there overnight, and then I left them there over another night. So let me go get them back, and they're a little warm from sitting outside because I think it's like around 3 o'clock, so the sun is really shining on them. But yeah, originally I was gonna let them air dry overnight, and I did, and then the next day I was like, would it hurt for them to sit out one extra day? I mean, I don't get like direct sun in my backyard because there's like a huge canopy of trees, and I was like, maybe, we'll see. And so I think the baking soda definitely helped. I can't credit it to the baking soda because I don't know what they would have been like if I just washed them, but I think that the baking soda helped a lot. They still smell a little weird, but I think they just need one more wash each. I washed them separate because I was worried about them bleeding together. So maybe one more wash each. I'm definitely not going to store these with my other fabrics, any of them, because I don't want them to have this smell to them. But it's not like repulsive now. Like I can't smell it, and they're sitting literally right on my lap. But I could whenever I was like unpacking them earlier, 2 days ago actually. Okay, so the first one I got, it was 1.5 yards for $3, and it's this like really cool red. See, this fabric is way too cool to just throw out because it smells, and that would be very not sustainable of me. So yeah, it's this like really cool like deep red, showing up more orange, lighter red on camera, but it's like really deep red, which I love. And then the next one is 4 1/4 yards. I have the thing right here, for $8.50. So this one I was like, yeah, I have to get the smell out. It's too cool of a fabric, and it was a bulk of my purchase. So it's like a kind of like a turquoise-y, velvety fabric. I think both of these are velvet. I haven't done any extensive research. I also didn't know if you could wash velvet or not, but you can. At least if those are velvet, you can. So yeah, that's pretty much all the fabric that I got. I'll keep you all updated if I wash them again, definitely before I go to cut and use them. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video for my ACR fabric haul. I will talk to you later.